Hello, everyone. Today is Wedding Wednesday, and we're here with Jen Shulock. She is a webinar presenter today, and I am so happy to have her here. She hasn't been here for a while, I think a couple of years, and she worked really hard on her presentation just for ABC. So, Jen is an experimental artist and wedding photographer who loves the connection that still moments bring in our modern times. Over 18 years ago, she started the journey of becoming a photographer, which has brought her to 2026, the year that, well, 2020, the year that she started her hyper niche brand of weirdo weddings photography. This niche speaks to many couples out there looking for acceptance, inclusion, and visibility in a saturated wedding industry world. She is one of many amazing, quirky voices in the industry, stepping out as Pink Hair Jen to share, collaborate, connect, and create with others. This time, I'm turning it over to Jen.
Oh my goodness. That was awesome. Thank you. I'm going to get right into it. We've got a timeline to keep, and I know we all like timelines, don't we? And just let me know if you see it full screen. Looks like it's coming through. Can you see it okay,
Yes.
Jenny? Fantastic. My name is Pink Hair Jen, and today's talk is about becoming limitless. And this is going to be a really expansive talk on something I have done previously, but I specifically curated this for you guys today. So I have some prompts in here that are they're going to alert you to what you need to do next kind of things. We're also going to talk a little bit about my story, but we're also just going to talk about your story. What does this look like for you today? So this is pathways to vision, expansion, and creativity. And it's a way to sharpen your vision. And at the bottom here, I said curated specifically for you guys today. So, as you heard, a little bit of my bio, that's pretty much what I am. An artist through and through. I've been a creative all of my life. And I infuse that into everything I do now, like everything I get involved in. So, as an artist, as a mom, as a wife, a kitty mom, Blue Man Group fan. Um, so there's different kinds of things I've been involved in that have just really made my life interesting, and it keeps things fresh and creative. So I'm always thinking about what's another thing that I could do to throw myself into something new. So this is kind of how I work these days. And so I'm going to bring myself to the table today to share with you guys. So we're going to get right into it because this information and this presentation is going to have a lot of work to it. I know that when I submitted it, I wanted to have some time for y'all to create because there's something about creation time that since we're business owners, we're busy. Maybe you've got, parental responsibilities, you've got other responsibilities, your calendar's full, 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 but this is kind of going to be a time where you can sit down and really have some quality time with yourself as a creative. So, I want to preface this talk with some tools that you might need today if you do not already have them out. Pen, paper, your phone, of some kind of a camera, if you have it. If you have any light sources around you, now I know that some people are in transit. That's totally fine. You can still play with this idea if you get the chance to while you're in transit. Look for any light sources you have around you. For me, I've got about, I don't know, three in this room. And I want you to have an open mind about this presentation here and no judgment. And really, it's not judgment about me, it's judgment to yourself. I don't want you to judge yourself too harshly as we walk through this. So, the talk is called Becoming Limitless. So, let's talk about the limits that are happening right now in your life. We have internal and we have external limitations that we've either learned them or we've been told them. We have all the things that kind of like, come together in one swirling, in this case, I'm in the wind of this self-portrait here. Like there's lots of different winds going on around you inside and outside. So one of the limits that you're probably going to be experiencing, if you haven't already, is that you're going to feel pressured and overwhelmed. And some days you just cannot, it just kind of ends there. The sentence ends there. I cannot today. And you know something's wrong, but you don't quite know what it is. You feel maybe a little bit stuck. You seem happy, but you're kind of like, not 100% like you feel like something's like holding you back. Maybe the real you is buried and you haven't let that out in a while, like the real you, like underneath the business owner, underneath the parent, underneath the caregiver, underneath the wife, mom, cousin, aunt, uncle, right? One of the biggest lies that we could believe is that we're running out of time and that we have no time and that we're running out of time and we always feel behind. To me, I was just telling Shelby when we logged on here is that we're in a timeline right now and you can access the timeline right now. You're not running out of time. You might feel broken and you might have given up before you even started. And I want to also say that this artwork here to the right, this is all this work in this presentation is my personal photography work. So that way you know that I have infused my story into this. And there was a point in my life where I did feel this pressure and overwhelm and I couldn't figure it out. So this representation of this image is kind of how I felt. I was walking around with a giant tree on my back and it was heavy. We're also going to talk a little bit about identity, like when it comes to becoming limitless, the limits in who you are right now, or the things inside and outside of you that are limiting specifically. This was a big one for me. Again, this is a self-portrait I did in San Francisco, and I spent a lot of my life feeling unseen, which I know is hard to believe with this pink hair. I've had the pink hair for about 19 years, but I just felt invisible no matter where I went. And sometimes you're having this identity crisis, and so you're trying to figure out who you are right now. Who are you in this timeline? Who are you in this culture that's shifting so fast? These are limitations that can keep you from experiencing the fullness of your own story, the fullness of who you are as a person. So, when you're invisible, you're obviously not showing your true self to yourself or your true self to others. So you're going to have moments of feeling very lonely and isolated. And I'm just going to be here to remind you that you're not alone today. We're sitting here together. Guess what? We're not alone. Everybody on this call, there's a friend here in the room with you. The journey. And as we know, there is no straight lines. There is no straight path to anything. I feel like everything's jagged. It's a mountain, it's a beach, it's a city. There's so many different ways that our personal journeys go that this is where we're going to jump into what it looks like. So in becoming limitless, what do you think of when you hear that word limitless? Does it feel like out of reach? Like, does it feel like it's unattainable? The cool thing is I think there is so much more to becoming, right? We are becoming who we are. We are becoming a better version of ourselves, you could say, which really just means we're becoming more of who we actually are versus what we've been told. And I wanted to take a minute here to make sure that you know that your path is your own. And this image is a perfect representation of a very simple path through a very grown bush of grass. So when I was taking this image, all I could think of was like, wow, this feels like a very realistic path. It is kind of symmetrical in its own way as far as its width, but the peaks and the valleys here, just in this tiny little hill, think about that in your life. Like, what does that look like for your path? How does it feel? And it is totally different for everyone. But you also, on this journey, this is where we're going with this. On this journey, you're going to have to ask yourself these tough questions and answer them. What are my limits? What are the limits that I feel are my limits? What do I know my limits are? And then also take that moment to get real about it and being intentional about telling the truth, basically. How many of us can say we tell the truth about ourselves? Because we're so used to believing all the lie and the lies that we can't even tell the truth about ourselves, about how awesome we are, or your insight is valuable, or your story matters. These are the kinds of things that feel limitless at this point. Somebody may just walk up and tell you that you matter, and all of a sudden you feel like you can do anything, right? Finding freedom in the dream. This is kind of where we're going on the journey. As you walk through this, you are going to find some freedom you didn't have before. So we're going to go through these four pathways. We're going to go through vision. We're going to go through thinking bigger. And really, it's an expansive, we're going expansive today, y'all. Creativity, and the work. And so in that slide earlier, when I told you that we're going to start pulling some things from, we're going to pull lighting sources, we're going to pull out our camera, we're going to pull out our phone, even if you're on your phone, totally fine. You can come back to these and do these exercises as well. But once we get to the work, I'm going to take you through some stuff. It's going to be awesome. And remember, we're becoming limitless. We're going to be expansive. We're going to expand our creativity. We're going to look at our vision. How does that look for you? And then we're going to start doing some work to do some actual things we can put out online today, if you so choose to join me. Vision. Okay, so vision is always, I always tell everybody, I work with a camera. So that's like a lens. And then I have an eyepiece. That's another kind of like a little lens, a portal. I have glasses, and then I have my eyeball. So it's at least four different ways that my vision could be messed up. I just had to clean my glasses earlier because I was like, they're so dirty. And before you know it, they're dirty all the time. And I can't do photographs with blurry vision. That doesn't give me the cleanest picture, right? So is your life and business. If you have dirty lenses and you can't see correct, you can't see clearly, then you're never really going to get to the next limitation or breaking that next limitation. Because I want to ask you what you really want. A lot of us have dreams and goals and visions, but do you know what you really want? Is it something you think you want? And then once you got there, you're like, oh, I need to do like a redirect. I need to go to the right, to the left. I don't want this path anymore. Guess what? That's totally fine too. But being realistic about it is very helpful in the journey. So, yeah, dreaming in pictures. Do you have light to see? And one of the things that I had a friend ask me about this, what do you mean by that? And I said, because sometimes a lot of the places we're going are like a cave. We don't know where we're going, so we can't see. And unless you have a flashlight or some kind of a light source with you, you can't light anything up to find out where you're going next. So my thing is, grab a flashlight. And if you don't have a flashlight, and I'm talking metaphorically, obviously, if you don't have a flashlight and you feel burned out, have a friend sit with you and borrow their flashlight for a little bit. It will illuminate so many different things in your life, specifically when it comes to vision. So, vision, this is kind of like a cute little acronym that I really liked how this came out because we're going to visualize our purpose, identify your authentic voice, shape your story, inspire that connection through content, own your own message, and narrate that vision. So all of these lead to you expressing who you are, part of your story, and becoming limitless because maybe you've been limited because you don't feel like your story is worthy enough to be told. That was always me. I was like, I don't have anything to offer anybody. And that is not true. We all have something to offer our industry, our family, our community. And this also, it kind of wraps around your vision here. So you have to be able to see and you have to be able to visualize and also go do the work. Expansion simply means you're going to think a little bit bigger in this work as well. Fear tends to keep us really small, and we don't think we can attain the things because we definitely don't think we're worthy of it, nor do we think that we can even get there. And for me, I still sit down and write some stuff down, especially if it's a really important idea that I need to flush out. I think writing something down really makes it real. Like I've been doing poems recently. I'm about to turn 50, and I feel like every year has been like a minute long. So I'm doing 50-minute long poems before I turn 50 years old. So that's writing it down. I literally have a stack of papers over here of me writing these little short poems and recording them in video. Define your big thing. I've always been told, right? Like we're always told this. How many seminars have you been to that says if you're not scared, you're not dreaming big enough? And I was like, you know what? I was fine until I started a hyper niche photography brand. I was not scared of any of that. I was scared of weirdo weddings because I knew that meant I was revealing myself to the world in a bigger, grander way than I ever have, and that was scary to me. That was the first time I was ever scared as far as business. And then you're going to want to sit down and define success for yourself. In this image right here to your right, I made this right after I had my baby girl. And I want it to represent a path that means it's intertwined with everything I'll ever do in my whole life. Everything is connected. And the vision that I had, and I made it real by doing this in photography, is the paths connect. And at the very, very, very top, you can see it looks like a knot, but it's actually a bow. And so at any time that I feel like the path needs to expand or contract, I can undo the bow and continue to add on to my path in life. And so that's what's great about that is it's not a knot, which means it's not the end. It's just another beginning if I choose to untie it and keep going, right? That's expansion. Your creativity, this might be a no-brainer for many of you. Y'all are probably all super creative and you don't have to worry about this. But also, I also know how when we were talking in the limitations in the earlier, is that sometimes we just get limited because we're burned out, we're overworked, we're overwhelmed, all the things. But when you sit down and think about the new things that you might want to expand into, those weird and out there ideas actually might be the things you need to go try. And even if you fail at that, that's like the perfect telltale sign of you're trying something new. And so what if it failed, right? Simplicity. I have so many people in my life, and this is either in your business or in your life, that you just want to sit down and like, I want to write a book and then I want to paint a painting. Well, guess what? The simplicity of it is when you sit down and you paint a painting, you're a painter. Or when you sit down and you're writing an article or a novel, or I have a friend right now who's, writing a big old novel that's about to get published. She has to sit down and write. It makes her a writer. Those really simple things. A photographer, I go take pictures and I make pictures. And this is actually me on the steps here in Muir Woods making a picture with a friend of mine because I couldn't do it by myself because it was way too far away up the staircase. But this is another pathway example of like sometimes you're in the woods on a staircase running around with your friends. This is why I say incorporate play. If you are not playing in any way, shape, or form, I encourage you to set up a play date with yourself. In The Artist's Way, the book The Artist's Way, I don't know if any of y'all have done that. You set up play dates and you set up artist dates for yourself so you can access your creativity and have some fun and just explore who you are and explore what you want to do. And I like to these days, I have something cool coming up this summer that at some point I'll share with you guys, trying something completely unrelated to your strengths or vocation. Something that is completely out of your wheelhouse that makes you nervous, just to the point of, I can't believe I'm about to do this. That, my friends, brings your creativity to the forefront, and that nervousness is so normal. Like, I don't know if all y'all get still, nervous about your weddings and events that you work. I still get nervous before every single wedding that I work because I'm always thinking, did I do this? Did I do that? Am I up to par? Am I worthy? Am I enough? All this stuff. That's creativity, and I think that keeps us very sharp. In your creative journey, I'm just going to go through this one really quickly, but additional tools as you're on this journey of becoming limitless, there may be some hurdles that you cannot overcome alone. So you're going to sit down with somebody, you're going to define some goals, maybe you're going to get an accountability partner of some sort, of somebody who can partner with you on this. There aren't any shortcuts, unfortunately. Like you have to walk it out. You can't go around it. So whatever is limiting you, you probably need to sit with it and be like, listen, we're going to have a discussion. And if you are needing some deep work, then you go in for, counseling, and have a strong support system. And the more you get free, the more you see, because we're talking about vision. And in order to see our lives clearly, we have to clean our glasses, get contacts, get our vision revised. So we're going to get into the work here. So the work, and I want you to kind of like think about some of these images that maybe you've seen that these are all my work, by the way, right? So like all of these images that you've seen, I've put here specifically for visual enhancement. And this girl right here is kind of running into high tide with this shipwreck. This is a real space. This is a real place. So I was there taking this photo. I didn't Photoshop this one. This is not anything that I had to create this world. This world was already there. So when I'm talking about doing the work, and this one is stuff that you can come back to later, but set aside 3 to 5 minutes of just free form writing if you're not already doing this kind of work. I am not a journaler. I am not. But when it comes to doing something I haven't done before, there's nothing wrong with setting a timer and doing it for 5 minutes. And I did this recently. I did it at Cater Source. I did it, I had everybody in the class do this. We're not doing that today. We don't have time. But it was really telling to see what comes out of you on a piece of paper when you sit down and write something. Grab the words that resonate with you, focus on something for the next few weeks, and maybe there's something that you haven't dealt with, you've put off to the side. I mean, we're getting into summer now. I don't know how y'all seasons are, but like we kind of slow down during the summer here in Texas. It gets a little too hot. If you're in corporate, if you're doing all these other things, find a space for yourself, even if it's just an afternoon, to sit down and do some of this. And if you are a vision board person, I remind people to like start one, finish one, or revisit it. Because I have like three in my bedroom still of just old vision boards of like, oh, I see this and I see that. And then also, if you're needing help with something, sit down with a friend, call somebody to sit down to get some actionable steps for accountability for the work. So here we go. Here's our real-time exercises, and I'm going to kind of walk you through a little bit of creative processes here. This is something that we can do at any time. If you're revisiting this on the replay, if you're with me right now, I'm going to show you what we can do to overcome and become limitless in the way we communicate with people out in our worlds. As we know, there are many portals of social media, but the real work needs to start with you right here and right now. So we're going to start working on that today. So we have a real-time exercise. Get your pens ready, get your phone ready, and let's see what we can come up with. But I'm going to walk you through a couple of examples because if you're anything like me, I need somebody to show me what the heck this means because I don't even know. So how about this? Let's get some real work in, y'all. We're going to start with creating a photo, and this means that you're going to grab your camera, grab whatever things you have laying around. Even if you're watching this webinar, you might be able to screenshot something. But we're going to work natural light, ring light, flashlight, whatever. Some of us have windows, some of us have like an overhead light in our train. For this photo, I want you to tell a story that you've never told anybody before. And that's on you. You've got to figure out of your multitudes of experience, your from your business, from your life, pick something that's, resonates with you right now. Don't even spend too much time thinking about it. There's probably something that you have to say. We all have something to say, right? We all have thoughts, opinions, voices. So, and what from this photo, we're going to cross post it. And I actually want you to maybe even create up to three photos, but tell the same story three different ways. Like if you're like me, if you have multiple brands or you have multiple portals, like if you have, say you do one thing for Facebook versus one thing for Instagram versus another thing for TikTok. You can use the same photo and just tell three different stories. Totally fine. And then if you are very bold, create a short video about that and say it in words from your voice. So if you already have an idea of what you want to do, I want you to write that down now or make a note in your phone to do this later. Okay. Feel free to tag me, Pink Hair Jen, and tag ABC. I want to see what you come up with in this work. So remember, we're becoming limitless, which means we need to take the limits off right now and get ready to share who we are with the world. So I have a couple of guided examples because we are expanding exactly who we are and what story we want to tell today in life and business. So this is an example. This is a real photo that I made. Okay. Real photo that I made, natural light, ridiculous point of view, but this is very much on par with my artistic side, right? It's a self-portrait, but it is done uniquely. So I had a glass vase and I had made this for some kind of wedding expo with black drips all over it. And I thought, what would this look like if I just held it up to my face? And so in this moment, what am I telling a story about? Well, here's what I put on here. Vision has many lenses and so do I. Things aren't always as they seem. Now, in this instance, I'm actually self-reflecting a little bit, but on this image, like when you look at the image that you're making right now or that you're about to make, what is the instant words that come to your mind? And can you expand on that by telling a personal story? Cross post. I would probably start on my art page because I do have a fully fledged art page, not just a speaking page or a wedding page. I have an art page where I just expansively talk about things that are on my mind, things that I make, and things that I create in the world. Create a short video from this. I could easily do a voiceover and just talk about this stuff. I could write a poem, I could read it. Some of y'all maybe like scripts. Maybe you like reading something off. Maybe you like that. Again, I'm new to this world of using my voice in this way and specifically poems and spoken words. Oh my God, like I did one in LA while I was at Cater Source. I was invited to come out for this little showcase. 10 minutes. I had 10 minutes to do whatever I wanted and I chose a spoken word. I was like, it's easy. I don't have to like dance in front of people, all that stuff. That's example number one of what I did personally to share a piece of my story and an insight. Example number two is stuff that you've already made. Something that you've already made that's online. Now, mind you, you have to think about your own personal story and brand here. This is me. I'm showing you examples of what I did, but your ideas may be slightly different because your brand is different, the who you serve is different and in your business. So the example is that I took a still frame from a video. Okay, this is a video. It's me doing one of those quirky things. It's a meme kind of a thing. I'm getting used to some of these that are kind of fun, like Devil Wears Prada just came out. There was a few memes going around about that. This is a really old one from Lord of the Rings, The Hobbits, where Elijah Wood was being fake interviewed by a friend of his from the movie. And he kept asking him if he wore wigs. And he was like, no, I don't wear wigs. And he's like, will you wear wigs? And he's like, maybe. So like it was just this whole long stream of, are you going to wear wigs? Why not? When are you going to wear them? And so what I did was I took that idea and I piled a whole bunch of flower crowns on my head because I've been collecting these for 15 years. And I thought it'd be really funny to answer those questions in that meme with just piling a whole bunch of stuff on top of my head. And the very end of the video, he just laughs. So this is me laughing because it's fun. It's fun, it's ridiculous, it's short, and I had a lot of fun making this. And it's very much me expressing myself just in a way that's more, we'll call it trendy, right? But I use this still frame as an example because you can take a still frame from any video that you have and expand on it. If you've already made a video, still frame yourself and say, oh my gosh, like da da da, tell the story about that. So for the cross posting of this one, I would probably start with my business page because now I have another brand that I haven't really shared publicly with anybody. Um, so I have another brand that I was going to start building on that business page there and start talking about it, but I can also cross post with all of my other wedding brands and it feels relatable. The couples are watching. The couples love videos, right? All of our clients love videos and they want to see a little bit of you infused into it. So this is me and my sense of humor and my idea, but I just kind of like made it fit into this viral trend, whatever that is. So I would take, this is what I said at the bottom, I would take a meme that is already circulating or a piece of audio that's already somewhat popular that speaks to me, not that's popular, just popular, something that actually speaks to me that I could get behind. And then keep that same energy. Have some fun with it. So here's a real-time example that I just made for this presentation. Okay, so my real-time example that if you're already building out your ideas, have you already started your idea? Are you working on a photo right now? Are you writing your ideas down so you can do them later? Because writing it down again, kind of keeps you accountable to, yes, I need to do this. And none of these take longer than 5 to 10 minutes, y'all. So there is no excuse about not having time. This is time that you make for yourself. So take those 5 to 10 minutes today. If you can't do it right now in real time, I want to see your work and what you've done in the next, week or two, right? So here's another real-time example that I want to show you what I did in my office, okay? Like as of right now. I create the whole goal, create a photo, grab something around your office. Now, y'all, I grabbed a piece of paper, right? I grabbed a piece of paper. What could I do with a piece of paper? I grabbed a plastic glass. What could I do with this plastic glass? What could I do with this ice cream dish? So here's the thing. I just found it. I found the natural light. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be cute because at this point I'm filtering myself, right? Like you can't even see all of me. I'm filtered through plastic. I'm filtered through glass. I'm filtered through paper. And then I want you to think about this image that you're making for or discussing becoming limitless. What does the path looks like and what is the purpose and what is the vision that you're seeing for yourself in this moment? And you can either create a video, you can do a written word. Again, all these techniques, I'm going to say it over and over again because this helps you remember. I need to write something, I need to make something, and I need to say something about it, right? The challenge, y'all, no AI. Don't try to edit your photo and make yourself look like somebody you're not. I want you to take a photo that is as raw and real with good lighting as much as possible. You can go as artistic as you want. I give you permission to do that because the crazier you are, because it's just for you. This is just for you to start, okay? Just for you. And if you feel like you want to share it publicly, go ahead. Don't skip the process that brings you the innovation that you need right now. So let's work it out. This is our classwork. We're going to refine that idea that we started with, right? So you've got maybe your idea, you're kind of going through it, you've grabbed your piece of paper like I did, maybe. I backlit it with my hand and I put one around my eye. Again, I would probably start on my art page with these, but I could easily talk about this in a story. I could easily throw this on a YouTube short. There's a lot of people that are, not using YouTube shorts. I start cross posting over there now because, and you can also have a visual play on symbols and meanings. Like maybe there's something as symbolic for you. Maybe there's something in your office right now that is super symbolic that you want to talk about it. Why does this mean something to you? Take a picture of that and share that with somebody. Take a picture of your hand. Like I just did my hand, right? Hands are so telling. Hands do a lot, right? So I ended up choosing just the hand and the piece of paper, right? So I chose my hand. I wrote a short written word because right now it was the easiest thing I could do in this moment. I wrote, "My hands bring light and light to dark. I can use my senses to create beyond what I can see into the real fields of life, purpose, and pathways and meaning. My hands are open for what is to come and where I'm going, and not everything needs to be known or seen. I am here to hold hands with destiny." I did not edit that. I just free wrote it and I'm happy with it, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It definitely doesn't have to have perfect punctuation. The whole point is to do this work without regret, do this work without judgment. And sometimes the words just need to come out how they come out. The image needs to come out how it needs to come out. The challenge is taking your time on this. Now, I know this is a shorter class, so we don't have a lot of time, right? Don't have a lot of time to like really stay in your head. So the goal in this exercises with these works of becoming limitless is to get out of your head and actually just do the work. I actually showed this to a friend of mine who's a planner, and she stays in her head so much. And it's actually a beautiful place to be because you do have a beautiful mind, right? You have a beautiful mind. We have wonderful thoughts. But also, what if people want to see a little bit more about you and your clients want to see a little bit more about you? You have to take what's in your head and get it out of you, which means we need to write something, you need to say something, you need to make something. Okay? Take your time on this, but don't stay in your head. So, like I said earlier, I created this in 5 minutes or less because I just gave myself permission to have stupid ideas. Express everything that has been bottled up within you. This is the perfect work to do if you have not expressed yourself in a while. Emotionally, things get hard, things are hard. Art will always be a place you can come back to without apologies. Be exactly authentic to who you are and create in a space that gives you the permission to be exactly who you are. Nobody's judging you for being you in this time. Oh, yeah. And I put on here that you're not being graded because, I made it through third grade with my 9-year-old, and they start grading in third grade. And it was actually disheartening to see how much children start shutting down when they know there's a grade involved. And maybe this doesn't affect y'all the way it affected me, but I started getting sad a little bit about that because then you start shifting into performance. Performance means you're not necessarily always being authentic. There is striving to do good work, but sometimes it's just you need to just do the work and not worry about the grading. You're not worrying about if it's perfect, not worrying about the timeline, not worrying about anything except expressing who you are. And this is our journey to become limitless. The limits are just that. Stop performing and start being who you are. So, and here's what I want to do because this is a business, right? I am also a business. I'm a small business. I'm a solopreneur. I'm a mompreneur. I'm thinking about my child as much as I'm thinking about my own business as a child. Um, but I wanted to give you an example of what could I do? How could I apply this to my business? Everything that we just went through, everything you've just created or wrote down as an idea, you can easily translate this into your business. Now, reminding you that I did use some of my actual work in this presentation. This is a lovely couple sitting back here, and I wanted to express what it was like to use this in your business. So here's your classwork again. Now we're going to mind our business, right? We got to talk about our business, y'all. Talk about it. Everybody cannot read your mind. You need to talk to your people. Talk to your couples as if they were already hiring you. Pick an image right now. This is another part of the work, y'all. Y'all need to pick an image. I know some of y'all are planners. You've got some photos out there of you working. You've got some photos of the work that's already been done. You've got things that you are proud of, right? We all have something we're proud of in our portfolio. We all do. We have those dream clients that we love talking about that. And we love those things about what really lit us up for that wedding day or that event or whatever. Choose an image right now. If you already have one popping in your head, grab it. Just make a note. If you can't do it right now, make a note that you want to take this image and you want to go say something about it. I want you to create either a short video of you talking to the camera and a written word, meaning a caption for whatever your socials is going to be. And a written word also could be like, I want to talk about how cool this wedding was because I was able to do, and the couple was so thankful, do. What kind of clients or settings was that for you? You know, why was it really good? Why do you feel like it went so well? Why did you feel like connected to this particular couple? Bring out all your senses for this. That means like, what did you see? What did you touch? What did you feel? What, all these things. You're not a robot. You can't, we don't do this work because it's like a robot, right? Like we don't do this work because there's no feeling involved. We're like in one of the most touchy-feely industries ever. Weddings are high intensity, super high intense emotions. It doesn't matter whether it's a good or a bad or whatever. It's like, whether the wedding goes well, the wedding goes like questionable, intense emotions all day long or all weekend long for depending on how long you do your wedding. The challenge right now is don't take every single post and generate it with AI. Everybody's giving you the shortcuts. That's great. Use that in your high volume moments. This exercise is about you getting real with about like, what do you really want to say? Not what AI says and make it all pretty. What do you want to say from your thoughts, your feelings? And this also, believe it or not, keeps your creativity fresh. Speaking from exactly who you are out into the world, you are a gift to the world. So you need to get yourself out there. You are infused into your business. So use this exercise to share your viewpoints and your heart. And here we go. Here's my example. I told you I'm not going to do something I haven't already done. Ta-da! Here is why I love my work. I'm telling my story. I am super excited to see this image because every time I see it, it makes me laugh. Okay. I grab the T-Rex, and every time I put him as the forefront of my wedding business, it makes me laugh. This is a timeless image, and he wanted to be a part of the wedding. What can I say? So, creating a short video, create a written word, post a still image, make it a slideshow, make it a swipe show. This image makes me laugh every single time I see it. And I never get tired of seeing it. Do you guys have portfolio work like this where you never get tired of seeing it? And you can talk about it because like it was just yesterday, right? People they're not going to remember like I can keep reposting this every 6 months and maybe they'll remember the T-Rex, yes, of course, but I can post about this a lot and still have something new to say about it. I can talk about how they're out of focus on purpose because some people have anxiety about being photographed. Or I wanted to focus on the T-Rex because he was funny and the angle was just too perfect. He wanted to eat them up. They were so cute. I can easily infuse that into my work. The challenge is also going to be making time for this creative work. So your time is precious. As we know, we work on timelines. But remember, you can jump in and out of this timeline at any time. You're not late. You're right on time today. You're sitting with me because you needed to hear something today that maybe you wouldn't have heard 2 hours from now. What is your vision in this? And what do you see? And obviously, for cross posting, I would start on my main business page to start talking about this image and what it means to me as a photographer, as a person who is aware of timelines, who is aware of how short sometimes my timelines are that I have to make images and how creative I have to be in a short amount of time, right? Start in one place and then start branching out with ideas to other areas of your socials. So here are my final thoughts. Now, I'm hoping that you did some real-time work with me A little bit. And if not, I hope you wrote down a ton of ideas, at least 3 to 5, that you can do today. As soon as you've logged off here, as soon as you finished your emails, we were talking about emails as soon as we signed on, make that, let's say 15 minutes for yourself, because if you can do this in 5 to 10 minutes, it'll be so satisfying. That's the word of the day. It's going to be super satisfying to get something out of you that's been sitting there for a while. So let's do that. Final thoughts. In this image here, you'll notice that at the very top here, I've got like these little light beads coming out of the top of my head here. And this is something that I created for a project, for an art project, that every week we had to create something new. Every week. And it had to be art related and it had to tell a story. So, like I said, it's not like I haven't been through this before, but making the time for it is what's really cool. Even if you did something weekly, like just for you to make something. So this is my little forehead getting like little light beads taken out of it. Becoming limitless is a path. I can't tell you what your path is. I only know the steps that I've walked. I know that sometimes you're on an incline and sometimes you're on the decline. And it's neither here nor there. It's a path. Just understand that you're walking it and you're not going to get stuck in it. Just watch for the potholes. Don't drive over the potholes if you can help it. If you see it coming, you can avoid it, right? So becoming limitless is a path. And if you've ever walked in sand, or if any of y'all have ever walked on beaches, you know it's not as romantic as it feels, right? You get it in your shoes, you get your calves are working more than they want, but I just want you to know the work is worth it and the path is yours. It's awesome. Your vision is a process. Do not forget that sometimes you have to strip away. You got to clean your glasses. You got to, make sure things are cleaned up. Make sure you can see clearly when you start going on this process. Remember that your voice is important and your story is very valuable. So whatever you've been hiding, it's time to start letting that shine outwards. Remember, you are a gift to the world, so do not hide behind somebody else. Do not hide, do not hide behind the version of yourself that you've created. I want to say thank you. And I did leave a lot of time for Q&A and just comments if there's a conversation that we want to have. And then also I do believe in the chat I did copy the gift that I have for you because for me there are no stupid questions. Your ideas are yours and they're amazing probably. Your identity isn't your job. Your future is bright and fear is always going to be there, so do it anyways. And there's your gift. And that's the presentation, y'all. We did good.
Jen, that was so amazing and so much needed. I
Aw.
appreciate you sharing. This touched several people because I was receiving text messages that it was just what they needed. So
Oh,
thank you. If you all have any questions for Jen before she leaves and gets back to work, let me know. Just put it in the chat. It really keeps us organized and efficient. Um, Everyone's saying it was amazing and inspiring. And thank you. It was awesome.
hopefully it wasn't too or overwhelming. Because I know that doing real work in real time, it depends on how you're feeling during the day, but I think you can take any of this with you home today and just work on something for yourself. Like even me, I'm probably going to work on something a little bit later and, just kind of like, and for you guys, I put this specifically together for you. So I was like, I was working on this pretty hard.
Yeah, she was really working on this just for us. Every time I was in contact with her, she says, I'm working on this presentation just for you. Just so she was really like, she revamped her whole presentation just for us. And it was really, really good.
Yeah. And I want to tell you, I want to take it back to the main screen real quick, just to share a story with you guys as we're talking about our work and whatever work that means for you. So this lead graphic is actually not even photoshopped. It's a real sky that was in Maine when I was visiting, and I thought to myself, wow, She can literally touch the sky right now. And so I had her reach up and it was just it was so beautiful. And the only thing I did was add some
Yeah.
blur.
At home? Okay.
And
And
then I
so did you get
added
some today? Yeah. Okay.
somebody else is talking, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted to kind of show that because there's something about being present in the moment, whatever that is, and especially I don't know if y'all are getting any rainstorms right now, but there's something about just looking at nature around you too, like just like taking it in and realizing there's so much more beyond your world right now. It's like so expansively huge. And sometimes the things that we're worried about are not, they're smaller than you think. And so this image always reminds me that we can touch the sky. We're limitless.
Jen, I do have a question
Yeah,
from Lois. Do you just repeatedly do it until the vision becomes crystal clear?
that's one way of doing it. Yeah, because I feel like I'm about to be 50, y'all. So I feel like I've been going through this process a long time. And I didn't really start getting my personal. Now, if we're talking about the actual work in here, yes, keep doing it until you feel like it feels good, right? You'll have a feeling that it feels like authentic to you. But for me, yeah, this has been a long time journey of me revealing exactly who I am first to myself, and then I share it with the world. So, yeah, but don't let anything stop you from sharing how you are right now or where you are right now. And even Shelby and I were talking about the transition of her hair right now and the transition of my hair. Like I got my hairs growing out. I said, but we're in this timeline right here and right now. So you might as well share who you are right now. Because
I
like today, when I come to do these talks, like I know I'm sharing a piece of myself with you guys where I am right now. But I've also lived this feels like over and over again, right? Like as an artist, you're always self-reflecting, questioning, asking those questions. I can't tell you how many life coaches I've had, how many business coaches I've had, where they ask you the same things over and over again. What do you want? And then they say, what do you really want? And one person actually said, ask yourself the question at least 7 times before you get down to what you're really trying to say. Because we're just so buried sometimes. And it's okay to be honest about that too. I just feel buried. Like I don't know who I am. I only know a version of myself that I put on for people. And I'm like, well, it's time to take off all the masks and then get real with yourself because it has to start there. But yeah, it's a lifelong journey. So yeah, keep doing it. Don't give up.
could listen to you talk about this topic all day, but I know that people have to go.
I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, but I hope that everybody got the gift. Let me go back to the QR code just in case, y'all. I'm going to curate something for you. And also, I want to go ahead and offer if you guys want to sit down and talk about this and more, like, this is a really hard topic to just gloss over. It's a pretty in-depth thing, but the work is worth it. And especially if you can start doing it in short little bursts, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Here you go. There's the link to the form. That way y'all can have it. Any other questions or comments? If this was super helpful, yeah, send me a testimonial. And if this is something that you want to see more of, I'm speaking under Pink Hair Jen. So my goal is to see some of y'all in person, honestly. That's my personal goal because I feel like this kind of work is so good in person. So good.
So evidently we were on the right timeline because so many people said that they really needed it. So
I'm
this
glad.
was perfect. This was perfect. So
And just so y'all know, I needed it too, and I think that's why it came out this way. So it's like, sometimes we learn how to encourage ourselves and we inspire ourselves whether we know it or not. And each one of you can do this. Each one of you can sit down and do this kind of stuff, and it's worth it.
so
And then
Jen,
you
I
can
have
teach it
to,
to somebody else too, right? Like you can
that's
take what
true.
you've learned and teach it to somebody else. And if you've got children or grandchildren or, sisters, brothers, whatever, like teach them some of this too. And like, let's sit down and do this thing together. Because it's summertime. Like, I'm thinking about my daughter right now. I'm gonna do stuff.
But we might have to get you back, maybe to do a workshop so they can get like really into it. And
Yes, I would love
yeah,
that.
yeah, I have to talk to you again. We talk every year or two, but I'll talk to you before the end of the year about doing something else.
Melissa did something. Yes.
Oh, Melissa did it?
Melissa posted something. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, Melissa, you always overachiever. I love it.
I'm telling you, and the more real you are, I'm excited about this. Yeah, sharing is caring. I love that. That's so important. I mean, let's go back to the Care Bears. I was born in the 80s. Let's all be Care Bears.
Well, Jen,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to say thank you, everybody.
thank you.
Thank you all for attending. This has really been delightful, informative, and extraordinary. So, thank you for always saying yes when I call you. I appreciate you. And thanks to everybody who attended today. Yes, you will get the replay. Jen said I could do it. You will have to wait till I get it to Veronica and she'll post it. So, get your
Good.
free gift. If you want to reach out to her, you can do so by using her contact information. Have a great rest of your day. And again, Jen, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.